Give us a little bit of their thoughts on how the Congresswoman and Senator Blas did. Are Jay Rojas and Regine Biscoe-Lee. Thanks so much for joining us, and you guys have had a chance to sit in, and it's been some interesting debate. You know, it's pretty civil in the beginning, and then just right before the break it kind of heated up a little bit. Regine, you actually used to work for the Congresswoman, so you know her very well. How do you think she did? She really seemed in her element tonight.
Absolutely. You know, Mindy, she has a lot of experience in this arena. She has a legacy of leadership. So tonight she was definitely, you know, taking all these things into consideration, but I think her opening statement was really telling, and just the way that she's able to, you know, it's, yeah, what you were saying was right. You know, it's really difficult. We weren't allowed to clap or applaud or cheer or anything, but I think she realizes that she has a lot of support in the room, and I think she answered a lot of the questions really, really, really well.
And so you've actually seen her, you know, behind the scenes, being able to work with her, and she brought up the mama bear, that this whole campaign has really brought out the mama bear in her. What do you know about the Congresswoman and the type of person she is when it comes to campaigns like this? I mean, it can really wear and tear on you.
Yeah, and she really expects a lot from her staff and, you know, all the people around her. She has a high level, I mean, she herself exudes excellence, and she expects that from the rest of her team. So I think that's really coming out, you know, today. And again, about the mama bear comment, she's really just fired up, as she said in her opening remarks, and she's ready to go. She's ready to take on Senator Blas for a lot of the things that he's been saying along the campaign trail. So again, it's going to be really interesting tonight.
Now, Jay, we'll get to you in just a second, but I did want to ask you, Regine, what were your thoughts about Senator Blas? You know, it was a lot of back and forth, him questioning a lot of the decisions and maybe what he calls inaction. But what were your thoughts about some of his responses?
I thought his responses, you know, I was actually surprised. I think he was doing pretty well. But again, it's really difficult for him to just comprehend this is such a tough job. And, you know, I worked in Washington for about 5 years before I moved back home, and it's really a difficult environment, especially for a non-voting representative. So again, she's made a lot of strides with just creating relationships and building a network out there, and she has a lot of really great rapport, like she said, with bipartisan support from both in the House and in the Senate. So.
Now, Jay, we wanted to talk to you. Both of you actually got a chance to go to your party's conventions a couple months ago, and so you representing the Republicans, having been able to sit through and watch Senator Blas in action, what were your thoughts? How did you think he did against somebody like Congresswoman Bordallo, who does have a lot of experience?
You know, actually, I think the experience is a key player in this election, and I think both of them did a great job in bringing the national politics back home. You know, how's the national political scene going to be able to affect us? You know, as both of you said, you know, he's up against a lot of experience with Madeleine Bordallo, and the Congresswoman has done a great job. You know, you said it was civil from the beginning, and you bring up the mama bear standpoint, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but, you know, yeah, the mama bear came out swinging, but I think Big Papa actually made his stand. He made his entrance, and we know he's here now.
So we, you know, we should note that the Blas side, they did not bring signs that said Big Papa, but apparently Jay's come up with a new nickname. But so, you know, and you were talking about the national issues. One of the first things right off the bat the GMA was asking was about Obamacare, and you know, there's been a lot of discussion locally about this issue. How do you think Senator Blas did?
I think he did very well. I mean, it shows that he actually did his homework, and, you know, taking a look at exactly what we can do as far as the health insurance opt-in and opt-out, how it's actually going to affect our situation with compact impact, and, you know, the visitors that we do get in and out. I think he definitely has the information from a national level on the local side that he actually knows what he's talking about. You know, again, he's standing his ground.
And what did you think about Congresswoman Bordallo? You know, I see her on a regular basis at different events, but seeing her actually at this debate tonight, coming out, like you said, swinging, you can tell she's ready to put up a fight.
She's definitely ready to put up a fight, and, you know, I think with her and her experience, she's built up a lot, and she actually has had a lot of experience and working relationships with both houses in the Democrat and the Republican side on a national level. But, you know, I think one of the things that Senator Blas wants to be able to do is say, you know what, hey, you know, let's push a little bit further. Let's push a little bit stronger, and let's see how far we can push the envelope to be able to make sure that Guam does come first with our person who is actually there in Congress.
All right. Well, I know you two will be sitting through the rest of this debate and watching anxiously to see how Mama Bear and Big Papa do. And thank you. But we will actually, our viewers will get a chance to see you all again, and we're looking really forward to this. You two will be joining us, KUAM's election coverage on a general election night. Hopefully you'll be burning the midnight oil with us. But you guys will be giving us a little bit of a discussion. You'll be talking a little bit about how you two have been following the presidential election as well. And I just wanted to talk about that briefly. Having gone to the conventions and really gotten pumped up about this presidential election, you know, a lot of local residents may not think of it, may not think it's important, but it really is, even though we don't get to vote. And you guys got to see, so maybe just a real brief discussion about having gone to the convention and how it just really reiterated your support for the party that you're with.
So this was actually my second time going to the convention. I was at the 2008 convention in Denver for Barack Obama, which was incredible. Just really a lot of magnetism and a lot of excitement around his campaign. And this time around was exactly the same. And I was really just so proud to be there as a delegate representing Guam. And we were really able to put a lot of our Guam issues in the Democratic platform, and that's something that I'm really, really proud of, and I feel like our whole delegation worked really hard. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and there were parties afterwards, but we really, I want to say like 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night for the entire convention. I mean, you'll agree with me, right, Jay? It was a lot of work, but it really is important for us to continue to stay engaged on the national level. So.
And Jay, you were able to go to the Republican National Convention, and I'm sure that was just as exciting for you.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the best part was the fact that we actually were delayed one day because of a hurricane, when in our eyes, that was just basically a tropical storm, so that was absolutely nothing. But, one of the greatest things that I thought about the Republican National Convention, and actually with the Democratic National Convention as well, is, in those actual conventions themselves, Guam, it's a level playing field. Guam is just as important to the national politics as every other state and territory is. And when we're out there, we're actually able to push the platforms that we want and what's going to be better for us, whether it be on the Democratic side or the Republican side. And, just basically being there and in that energy and seeing that the Republican Party in the national level has aligned with all of the different parts of the Republican platform on Guam, it's nice to see that we actually have a national support.
All right. Well, Regine and Jay, thank you so much, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the debate, and we look forward to seeing you all again during the general election. Now, we are going to turn it over now to the Guam Medical Association President, Dr. Thomas Shieh, who is here, and he has been the man behind putting this whole debate together. This guy has worked countless hours, and he should be thanked. Thank you for putting this event together for the people of Guam. KUAM is glad to be rebroadcasting this so that people at home can be watching. I mean, this was a sold-out event. Tell me, why did the GMA decide to put this together? And I know you guys have a senatorial forum as well, and you guys aren't taking positions on who you're voting for, but you are doing this as a service pretty much to the community.
Yeah, our 3 pillars for Guam Medical Association, with the biggest association in Guam, is advocacy, community service, and education. So to us, this is an education outreach. It's a political season, like you said, but we don't take any positions. We're a nonprofit group, but we do provide education for the public, and that's what we're doing today. And it's a very heated debate. I'm glad that towards the end of the first half, I think it came out swinging. I think that's what we want to see, and I think it's good that we discuss this real issue that's affecting people of Guam. So I think people are getting educated, so that's good.
Well, what are your thoughts about Congresswoman Bordallo, and then I'll ask you about Senator Blas, but, this is a new Madeleine Bordallo that we've kind of seen tonight, a different Congresswoman than the normal, you see her smiling in pictures, but like she said, she came out fighting.
Oh yeah, she came out strong. I think for her, she's experienced. She's been in Congress for many years, and I think when Frank Blas spoke up, she actually spoke up right back. So that's a little different. I'm used to the congressman kind of saying, hey, how are you? How you doing? And let's work together. But she spoke up. She defended herself very well. And I think Frank Blas defended himself very well as well. So I think it's important for them to get engaged, and then criticize each other. But at the end of the day, we live on the same island. Win or lose, to kind of support each other at the end of the day.
And just a big thank you to the GMA and to you, Dr. Shieh, for, I know you've worked countless hours to put this event together, so we really do appreciate, and I don't know if anybody's given you a pat on the back, but we'd definitely like to do that. Is there anything else that you'd like to add out there for, what you'd like the GMA members and the community who are going to be watching this to take from this tonight?
Well, I think I want the public to understand that, our doctors, We take care of patients to the best of our abilities, and we also want to support our community as well. So these kind of events we do support, and we don't take positions, but we do want the patient to be educated, especially on Obamacare, especially on war reparation, about the military buildup. Those are real issues that do affect healthcare as well. Next week, though, I want to say, and I need to help promote that a little bit, is a senatorial forum. If you like tonight's debate, next week it's a forum, but it's going to turn into a debate. I can almost tell you that right now.
Especially after the next
Especially after they hear you, Mindy. There's still tickets available. They can call Pram Sullivan at 483-6600. Don't wait till like tonight is sold out. You can't get tickets to come in. But it's important to be here because the senators are very important because they focus on local issues. And you need to get to know your candidate before you cast your vote. So get educated, and that's what we're trying to do. Get educated, come to the debate, or come to the forum next week, Wednesday night at 6 o'clock at the Hyatt. Great food, great audience, and get engaged, and get your tickets, because when they run out, you can't come in. So good luck.
And how can you say no to Dr. Shieh, right? One last thing I did want to ask you is, how did you guys canvass your members for questions, or how did you all come up with the questions? I mean, I really got to give it to you. You guys ran the gamut tonight on a bunch of topics, and we're only halfway through. So how did you all come up with the questions for tonight's debate?
Well, we survey our members for the questions, and we talk a lot about these issues at our monthly meetings anyway, so we do keep a log of them. And these are real issues every day. It's actually kind of predictable, but it's the way you ask it, and we want to know the details. We also ask the public. You can email your question to Guam Medical Association at gmail.com. So you can email it, and we review it. We can modify it the way we see fit, and we ask the questions directly to the candidate. So I encourage you to submit those questions. And next week, you're going to see a little different forum. But we're going to allow the senatorial candidate to actually question each other. So it's going to be a heated forum, so it may turn into a debate, so we'll see what happens.
I can guarantee that will be a debate. Thank you so much, Dr. Shieh.
Okay.
We really do appreciate it. And as you can see, people are starting to fill the ballroom again with the Congresswoman Madeleine Bordallo calling herself Mama Bear. We've got Senator Frank Blas Jr. As well, and they've really been discussing a variety of issues, and they will be getting back on stage momentarily, so let's get back to the debate.